Hey guys, welcome back to the United Star. Prasham, I think we've taken a day. We've taken about 12 hours. We sort of accepted what's happened yesterday. I think accepted is a very negative word. We've come to terms with what's happened yesterday. We've uh, we've given it some thought. And are you back, or like is it still not hit you yet?
It yet feels a little surreal. I don't know. I think it will sink in when I finally sort of see him holding that shirt and with the whatever number is on the back. I think that is when it will sort of sink in. It still feels very surreal that he's back, and I mean, it just adds so much quality to the team. It adds so much positivity to sort of the entire atmosphere around the club. So I think it's a great signing, of course, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. This season is going to be a lot of fun, and he's back, man. Like, there's nothing more to say. It's just I don't think it'll actually hit me till I actually see him play. That it's actually happened. That
Yeah,
this guy you had left is back.
yeah, I agree. And I think so. The purpose for this video is so that after the initial euphoria that we've gone through, now let's sort of actually analyze how we see him playing in the team and what we see from what we expect from United this season now. Because I don't think we've even given that a thought in the last 12 hours since Romano tweeted that United are really interested in signing Cristiano Ronaldo. It just feels so weird to say it, man. He's oh god, it's crazy. So just getting straight into it, Prashant. Obviously, we have Mason Greenwood who's been developing. He's had the first two games and he's played pretty well as the striker. Obviously, the second game he played on the right, but then after Martial was subbed off, he came on centrally. Cavani is obviously there. He's the holder of the number 7 T-shirt right now, and he had a brilliant season last season. What role do you expect out of uh, obviously Ronaldo coming in, and where do you see Cavani and Greenwood developing and playing?
Hmm. So I think there are two, three things that we have to consider here. I think number one is obviously that Mason Greenwood, I think, will lose his spot. Uh, I think there is a chance that I think he might play on the right hand side as a sort of secondary to Sancho. But at the same time, I think he'll also be the second striker. The thing with Cavani is that I think he's very keen also to play for Uruguay. So every time he goes and comes back, there is going to be quarantine for him. So I think it's obviously very good. I think we're going also back to those olden times when we had four proper goal scorers, four proper strikers. If you look at it, we've got Ronaldo, Cavani, Mason, Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho. So this is a powerful attack. And the advantage is that the likes of Greenwood at least can play on the right as well and through the middle as well. So he sort of will, I think he will sort of be playing that in between role. I obviously his starting minutes will be hampered now, but I think it's a great opportunity at the same time for him to learn and fight for his place because now we were talking about how much he can learn from Cavani. Can you think about how much he can learn from Cristiano Ronaldo? He's probably got the best. People keep saying he's a tap-in merchant, but to be able to do that tap in, he's probably got the best movement anybody has in football at this point. So I think Mason will become a little bit more of a bit part player. I think when only Cavani and him were there, I think he would have started at least 25, 26 games this season. But now it could reduce. He has to make the most of this opportunity he's going to have over the sort of next couple of weeks. But definitely he'll be someone who will be coming on from the bench, making that impact. I think so. Ronaldo, I think, will play as the striker until uh, maybe until Rashford is back. Maybe you could see something sort of as Mason playing on the left, maybe. But I want to see Ronaldo play as a striker because primarily also I don't think he adds that much value on the left anymore. When he's playing on the left as well, he comes and floats into the middle and then he just sort of occupies that. He's become a very sort of box player. He occupies that space, makes those darting runs. Yes, he can cross a ball because obviously he's very good at that and he's done it all his life. But at the same time, I think he adds much more value as a striker. And with two people with the pace and skill and trickery of Rashford and Sancho, or even Mason and Sancho, I think it'll give Ronaldo a lot of opportunity to exploit space. And then obviously you've got, well, our Portuguese maestro and Bruno Fernandes behind Cristiano Ronaldo. So I think there's a lot of opportunity to be exploited. Also, Pogba can play on the left, I think, till Rashford is back. He's looked terrific. So, I mean, I'm already thinking Pogba, Ronaldo, Sancho and Bruno, and then once Rashford is back, man, this squad is banging. And I feel the positions are also quite fluid in the sense that I think Ronaldo should occupy that center spot, but Sancho and Rashford both are inverted forwards, both can come in. Bruno obviously will have a lot more to work with now. I think it's going to be interesting as to how Oli, actually does this. There are multiple formations in my mind that he could play.
Yeah, exactly. I think just you mentioned formations. I wanted to come to that only. Now, what do you think is our best formation and our first 11? Who would you put out as our best 11?
See, I'm not going to talk about the defense. I think that picks itself. Varane, Maguire, Shaw, Van Bissaka. Let's De Gea, Henderson, whoever you want to put there, put them. I think the real interesting or tasty bit comes into the midfield where we can actually, we can really play a lot of different styles. We could potentially go with your original sort of a McFred midfield if you want to play defensively. Play Bruno up in the attacking midfield role, and then put Ronaldo, Rashford, and Sancho up front, or Pogba on the left. If you are playing a weaker team and Rashford is also available, I personally would like to see McTominay, Pogba, Bruno in that midfield three with Rashford on the left and then Ronaldo and Sancho up front on the sort of this thing. But I also think that these formations are very much possible because I know that McFred are not that good, and I know that the CDM position is a problem. But ahead the CDM position and behind, we've got Varane and Ronaldo. Both of them will strengthen the team a lot. So it does offer, I think, a little bit more defensive cover as well, because obviously Ronaldo is a threat in both boxes when it comes to heading the ball. So we've added in that sense as well. But I really think that we can play a midfield three of Pogba, Bruno, and McTominay or Fred. If we do sign a CDM, I don't know what, I mean, the world will be moving in some alternate reality if we get one more player this window. But I mean, there's no reason. So I think this 4-3-3, these two versions of the 4-3-3 are possible. I also think, I really think this is possible to go back to a more traditional 4-4-2 with McTominay and Bruno in the midfield, where Bruno plays the more Paul Scholes kind of recovery role where he gets the ball and recycles it. So he dictates the play from midfield. He won't be as involved in terms of goals and assists, but he will be dictating most of the play. With the top two, then you play Sancho on the right. I'd say play Pogba on the left or and then Rashford and Ronaldo up front, and Greenwood can always come in or Cavani can always come in. I would play that kind of a formation. Also could be an interesting way to go. The other thing that I've been thinking about is Bruno playing as a second striker of Cristiano. So you play the McFred, but then Ronaldo and Bruno essentially play like the Drogba and Lampard kind of role. So I think that can also be an interesting sort of avenue. So I think it's a very exciting sort of time, and I really want to see how Oli handles this, because this is not going to be easy. He has a lot of stars, and at least one or two of them are going to be on the bench now. This situation has never come before in terms of for Oli, where they are on the bench, or he's had players on the bench, but potentially Paul Pogba could be on the bench, Rashford could be on the bench, Mason could be on the bench, Cavani could be on the bench. So these are proper international stars. So it'll be interesting, and obviously his favorite diamond can also be played now. So I think there are a lot of options where Sancho sort of plays as the center attacking midfielder. Again, Rashford and Ronaldo up front, Pogba on the left, Bruno on the right, and one holding player. So I think all of these formations are possible. And I don't know, I think the best way to go for it is the 4-4-3, not 4-3-3, sorry, and not play the 4-2-3-1. I think that's the best way forward. But I really want to see how Oli does it. I hope he's a little more aggressive now. I hope he's a little more attacking now, because we have that player. If there is a chance, he's going to take it. If there's a chance, he is going to bury it. So if we also concede one, we have a player in us who can actually score two. And it's not like the waste. Even Rashford in Martial are very wasteful. Now with the likes of Ronaldo, the game changes. I hope that Oli goes a little more aggressive here.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. And I was going to come to Oli only next. Matt, in like just a day, Oli has gone from having a very good attack to a fantastic, like a dream attack. And I wanted to come to you because you've always sort of been a little iffy about Oli being the United manager. I mean, obviously you support him and you want him to do well, but at the same time you feel that you said that a better manager would come in and definitely win titles with the squad that we've had. How do you see him sort of managing this? Because it's not only managing Ronaldo the player, it's also managing Ronaldo the brand. Now, with Ronaldo coming in, we're going to have so many more eyes. Obviously, United is one of the biggest teams in the world, but we're going to have so many fans, the Ronaldo fans, who probably follow him around. They supported Madrid and they supported Juventus. Now they're going to be watching the United games day and night. Those eyes are going to be him. So there's a lot of added pressure on Oli to deliver with Ronaldo in the team. How do you think he's going to handle that?
I think I don't have any concerns about his man management. I think he'll be able to handle that. The tactical side of it, he's got no excuse now. Overnight, the pressure on Oli has just mounted because here you have got a guy who's proven himself everywhere he's gone, of course, and he's a United legend and he's come back. And now the pressure on Oli has gone from like here, we have to win a title to we have to win a title, have a deep run in the Champions League, have a deep title challenge in the Premier League. All of these things have to happen now because you've got no excuse now. Yes, you don't have the center defensive midfielder, but Pep won the Premier League without a striker and reached the Champions League final. So you have no excuse at this point now. So you have to have deep runs in almost all competition and be able to win that one. Now, like you said, there are many eyes that will come to United, and I know a lot of people who stopped watching football are going to start watching it now because of Ronaldo. There are a lot of people who have become overnight Manchester United fans once again. That will also be a pressure on Ronaldo, and Ronaldo thrives under that pressure. So that will be an interesting sort of avenue to explore as well. But you're right. I mean, Oli has to prove himself now. I mean, every time that Oli has made a mistake, Oli inners or who are completely behind him have always come out and given excuses that he doesn't have the depth, he's not being backed, he doesn't have the sort of players on the bench. Now you look at the team: Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Bruno Fernandes, Jadon Sancho, Cristiano Ronaldo. 6 of these players are his picks. Luke Shaw is sort of developed into an absolute brilliant player. McTominay and Fred, okay, I can understand there. You could do better there. Rashford, no one can complain about. You've got Henderson and De Gea and goal. So 6 picks plus 3 world-class players. There is no excuse anymore. You've got the likes of Pogba. So it's almost like you've got 10 world-class players. Let's say Wan-Bissaka is not world-class. You've got 10 world-class players in the team. And then you've got the likes of Cavani, Mason Greenwood, Dan James, Martial, Lindelof, Bailly, all these people on the bench. So I don't see any excuse now. There's no hiding anymore for all. And I mean, you can only make the case that okay, you didn't have a center defensive mid, but then you're going down City's route where you need to buy a player for every position. Now this is the time for him to rise to the occasion, show his tactical know-how, be aggressive, be on the front foot, and take the game to opponents.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I also wanted to speak, you mentioned this in the start. I also want to cover it a little more in depth about what sort of an effect Ronaldo coming into the team has on all of our youngsters. You mentioned Mason Greenwood, but we've seen Rashford. He tweeted out that it was an understatement how happy he was to see Ronaldo come into the team. Lingard posted a photo of him when he was 8 or 9 years old with Ronaldo in the team. So all these players, they've been looking up to him for their lives. Jadon Sancho has looked up to him. How important do you feel it is, and how can they sort of make the best out of Ronaldo coming into United?
See, I think that it's very simple. I mean, you look at the likes of Rashford, Pogba, McTominay, all these people, the moment they must, it's a little bit like me, they're around my age. So the moment they must have started watching and religiously following United and football, the Rooney Ronaldo team and that partnership is the first team they actually must have followed. So these guys have idealized Cristiano for their entire life. I mean, Rashford, the way he takes his free kick, the way he does certain things, is exactly like that. Jesse Lingard, the same. And we're forgetting Bruno Fernandes. For Bruno Fernandes, this is an absolute dream because he is a United fan cause of Ronaldo. And I mean, the best analogy is like, it's like for someone like a Virat Kohli or a Rohit Sharma to walk in the dressing room and Sachin Tendulkar being there. It's essentially like that. It's like this father figure you've looked up to, idolized, and he's gone on to achieve great things, and you are walking in his footsteps. So I think these people will be holding on to every word he says, everything he does in training, because he's not going to have to say it. He's going to come there and be like, boss, I've won 5 Ballon d'Ors, I've won 5 Champions Leagues, I've won the Premier League, I've won the La Liga, I've won the Serie A, I've won the Euros, I've won the Golden Boot in every tournament I've played in. Here I am, learn what you can from me. And the benchmark he's going to set in training is going to be much higher. He's going to demand that of the players around him. You can see him on the pitch. He's a leader. He doesn't need the armband. He's the leader. And he is going to demand that from the pitch, from the players on the pitch. And it just adds so much character to the team as well, so much personality. And you just think about it. When the opposition sees this sort of lineup coming out onto the field with Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba, Cristiano Ronaldo, Rafael Varane, Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, I mean, Harry Maguire. This is what we used to talk about, that the game was over when United lined up in the tunnel. This feels like that. Just that Ronaldo signing just completes it. His towering figure coming out last in the tunnel, being led by Maguire with Varane. I mean, imagine the Champions League nights when the music starts. You're going to have Champions League, Varane and Ronaldo standing next to each other. That's 9 Champions Leagues right there. So there's absolutely, it's going to be an incredible learning experience for everyone at the club. And even for the likes of Harry Maguire, who is experienced in his own right, who's very good in his own right, it's going to be a complete change in mentality almost, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that sort of covers it all. I just want to end with, I want to ask you your predictions now. I know we've done an entire different, I've done a video with Vishesh predicting where United are going to end up. And I just, because a team with Ronaldo and a team without Ronaldo are two different things. So now,
no, I'll tell you, Priyaan, it's very simple. A team with Ronaldo doesn't draw at Southampton that day. He will nick a goal. He will find a way to produce a goal from somewhere. And that's the thing. A lot of people have said that Ronaldo is a small club bully. Well, I don't care. I want a small club bully at this point. Because we've struggled against these small clubs. He will break them down.
Yeah, definitely. So just off that, where do you see United finishing with? We've seen City have gotten Grealish, Chelsea have gotten Lukaku, Saul may be joining, Kunde is I think almost done at Chelsea. Where do you see United finishing this season?
See, I think it's very difficult to predict. I think we are definitely, with Ronaldo, I think we're firmly in the top 3. Now, between that, I think each team has their own deficiency. I mean, I know that Chelsea has a very good squad and they have almost all bases covered. But I think that Lukaku, of course, you have to remember, Ronaldo outscored Lukaku last season. You have to remember that as well. But if you think about their sort of other players in the attack, I know Havertz is good and Ziyech is good and Werner is good. But I think if you look at the 3 combined, I think Rashford, Ronaldo, Sancho, I think that 3 is a much sort of more potent sort of upfront 3. I think Chelsea's midfield is brilliant. There's no question about that. I think it's the best midfield out of the top three clubs right now. Their defense, I think, is a little wanting. I know they keep a lot of clean sheets because of Tuchel, but I think that if there is place to be exploited, and I think over the period of the season, we will find teams exploiting those holes in the team. I definitely think so. City, we all know that the major hole is that they don't have a striker. I don't see it now anybody in the market that they can go for unless they make some sort of miraculous high money bid for Erling Haaland, but I don't see that happening because Harry Kane is staying, Ronaldo is gone, Messi is gone. There is nobody available in the market. And our weaknesses, of course, is that CDM. So I think there is a position everywhere where all the teams have something to sort of cover for. So it's going to be very hard between these 3 teams. And of course, I'm not counting Liverpool and it might anger a lot of people, but I don't think Liverpool's squad is equivalent to either of these 3 squads at the moment. Considering also that Salah and Mane will be possibly gone for 4-5 games for the AFCON. So I don't know. I think it'll be an interesting season. It's going to be very hard to predict the top 3 if I were to say right now.
Yeah, I think that goes on to show the quality of the league, and this is the first time I'm so excited for the season. Obviously, Ronaldo has made a big difference to that, but oh god, I can't wait for him to wear the number 7 jersey. I can't wait to see that. But that's all we have for you guys. Do like, share, subscribe, and make sure you tune into our game reviews because we're going to be reviewing Cristiano Ronaldo play for United. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye bye.